So for a small pyramid like that, it is very powerful, very effective because of all that copper wire that acts and adds to the energy that's already coming out of here. Hi, Luna. So you have to be able to see. If your vision is obscured and you're pouring, how do you know how much to pour if you can't see? Building all my chakras now with a big central copper wire wound central crystal. I used to build them that way, but I hadn't built any chakra ones for several years actually, until you inspired me to start building them again. I make sure that a third of the crystal is embedded in the metal matrix on the bottom here, that it picks up the energy from the crystals in here, and it goes into the big crystal and goes into the copper wire, and it creates a toroidal, but it also radiates laterally. But depending on who can feel the energy, it's always moving in a vortex, in a spiral, as well as moving sideways, laterally as well. 3 different types of metals here. I use brass, I used aluminum, and I use steel. And I think the combination is a really nice mixture actually. What is essential is that you need an inorganic metal of some sort. It's not fussy what kind of metal you use. You need the inorganic metal to repel. The resin attracts it and the metal repels it. So now you have high frequency attraction repulsion, which is very unbalanced and chaotic energy. But when you put a crystal inside, the crystal has the ability to transmute this unbalanced chaotic energy. It smooths it, it balances it out, and out comes a positive, healing, good kind of energy that plants, pets, animals, humans, everything that's alive wants more of. It's good energy. Yeah. Oh, it's the strongest we've had so far. Look at that go. Energy in motion. Visible energy. It's not an easy concept to internalize because you're dealing with frequencies in a way that we're not accustomed to dealing with them, you know? So somebody comes along and builds these things and puts crystals in them with metal and so on, and tells you that, well, they generate positive energy. All living things love this energy that comes out of here. Pets, animals, grass, flowers, human beings, everything that's alive wants more of this energy. But you can't measure it. You can't whip out an instrument and watch the needle move and say, it's working. It doesn't work that way. Can't measure it. But fortunately, people who are more spiritually evolved and more in tune with their intuition, with their body, and the use of pendulums, can measure this quite accurately. But the hardcore scientists, they want to poo-poo this idea, you see. But no, you can't. It's been around forever. The primitive shamans in the jungles have been using this energy and this intuition for thousands of years, you know. They're still using it today in a good way. We're just learning from the shamans, you know, and that's why people want to go to the Amazon jungle and want to go to primitive places and, you know, and do ayahuasca and have that trip and have Gaia come to you and show you the other side. Wow. And once they have that experience, it just opens their mind to possibilities they've never considered before, you see. But you have to be careful, because that can be it can be dangerous too if you deal with the wrong people and with a shaman who's not evolved, you know. People can get really messed up badly. So I'm not saying don't do it, but be careful if you're going to do it, you know, that you get somebody who knows, who is qualified, who will be able to deal with this situation, because you're really stepping out of the ordinary world. What happens is, the crystals that are buried in the metal matrix here, and the crystals that are outside that you can see, the energy is being sucked in by the resin, the negative energy, and it's immediately repelled by the metal at very high frequencies, which is chaotic, unbalanced energy. So when this energy is repelled, it also goes up through copper wire. There's huge amount of copper wire in the rotor here. So as it's coming, it's being transmuted down here, the good energy. So it flows up towards the top and out. It goes out through the sides too, but more of it goes in a whirling motion going up. So it's going through, it's picked up, it comes out of the metal matrix here, and it goes up, and it's picked up by the copper wires that are wound up in the rotor here. There's probably 100 feet of copper wire in there or more. And it comes out the top. So it's energized. It adds more oomph, as it were. So for a small pyramid like that, it is very powerful, very effective, because of all that copper wire that acts and adds to the energy that's already coming out of here. So it makes it much more powerful in a much smaller package. Now, by the same token, when you build a big one, the rotor in this one, at least twice as big as in the little one here. So, by extension, more copper wire, more metal mass here, more crystals. So the energy that's being produced is even more massive coming out here. So by size, this is probably one of the most powerful things that I make. Well, the motor came out of a very expensive vacuum cleaner motor, a $2,500 vacuum cleaner. So I had access to these, and I threw most of them away because I had them around and I wasn't building them anymore. And I guess I kept a few of them, and I'd rather work with the smaller ones than with the big ones here. Grooves don't affect the orgone energy. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, people think, well, it has to be perfect. No, you can't destroy these things. They keep working no matter what blemishes or imperfections you might see on the outside. It has nothing to do with the effectiveness of an orgone generator. It's just we have this idea we want perfection. We want everything perfect, you know. like it was almost machine made. Well, if you're making something by hand, it's never going to be like a machine made it. You have to live with some slight imperfections which don't bother the effectiveness of the orgone device at all.